God damn, this is like the most cinematic shot I've ever done on this channel. So to this day, I have had 3 cars all up. And they've all been Falcons. I have had my BAXT, I've had my FG NA XR6, and now I have my XR6 Turbo. Now the one you guys would have been seeing on my channel very recently was the XR6 Turbo, and I went all the way through buying it to completing it with 440 horsepower, the ultimate daily driver. Now I know a lot of you guys will be messaging me on Instagram, Facebook, and also a lot of comments in the comment section asking questions about just how I built this car. Now the truth is, it's not a hard car to get a lot of information on. It's a very easy car to try and learn. It's a very easy car to wrap your head around, and it's still fairly modern, which is a massive bonus. Now ever since I bought the car, on my phone I have been keeping track of just how much I have spent on this car. Now I know a lot of you guys have been asking the questions as to exactly what I've done to the car, so today we're going to be going through every single part that I've done, every single sponsor that I've worked with the car, and how much the entire project cost. Alrighty, so with that all said, let's get to it. So right here on my phone, I have all the different parts and all the different prices. And I don't think I actually have it all, but I mean, we're gonna try and work some stuff out in the meantime. So all up, the entire car to buy by itself, as I got it, was $12,500. So the car that I bought, it had scratches all through the panels, it did need some rear window tint, all the interior was like scratched and all the seats were sort of worn. There are a lot of things on this car that were needing attention, and there was a lot of good things as well. The previous owner had just replaced all the suspension and all of the brakes, so that was awesome. It also had 4 brand new tires sitting all around in it, which is a massive bonus. And the car was in pretty good shape. Engine wise, it was flawless. So adding that to my grand total, the car cost $12,500. Now I'm not even going to skip over any of these prices whatsoever. So after the car I bought, I had to transfer the registration and everything else as well. The car had registration on it, I just had to transfer it into my name, and all up that cost $480. So far this car has cost me $12,980. Now speaking in terms of some of the parts that I already had for the car, as you guys know, before I had the Turbo, I had the NA, and that car, I actually had a lot of parts that went onto the Turbo. So the first few videos you guys would have seen would have been the swapping the wheels over, swapping the suspension over, and then doing that massive big long panel swap, which took all day, and then some of the next day. It was crazy. So the wheels that I got for my car, which are Rotor Grid Rs, which are 19 by 9.5 plus 15 all round, I got for $1,800 including tires. Now that was no sponsorship, I actually didn't have my YouTube channel when I got these wheels. So yeah, $1,800, and that was for my Rotor Grid Rs plus tires. Now along with my Rotor Grid Rs, I also had to get the rear guards rolled to try and fit these wheels. Now, the rear guards for both the rears, I ended up going through Prestige guard rolling. Kevin did an absolutely amazing job on my car, and I can't recommend him enough. The amount of time and effort and dedication he put into making sure these guards weren't gonna crack or roll out or anything. Anyone who knows about rolling rear guards on an FG, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So Kevin did an amazing job, and he did that for $250. Now, after I got the wheels for the car, I also found out that after the guards are rolled, they still rubbed. So I had to get camber arms. Now the camber arms that I got were the same company that I worked with XYZ. I'm actually not quite sure what company they were called, but I ended up getting them supplied and fitted for $450. Okay, so now we're gonna start getting into some of the stuff that I did with the 2 cars. So basically, this is not an added expense, so I won't put it in because it didn't cost me anything, and you guys don't have to do it at the same time. But after I did the wheels and the suspension, I went all out trying to swap these 2 cars over. I did the panel swap, I did the interior swap, I did the ICC swap, and all of that stuff I actually didn't put in my list, which I can do right now. Now the color screen ICC, I actually bought off my good mate Frank, and I bought that for $250. If you guys know me as well, I also got the dash beers for my interior at the same time as I did with the ICC. Now I actually ended up getting the XR50 carbon dash beers for just over $100. And then the way that I got the G6C luxury pack dash beers, I actually traded them with my good friend Corey. I actually have the G6C luxury edition dash beers, and I only paid $100 for the original dash beers. So that's how I have them right now. Now, not only that, but I also went through the entire car and I took every single good bit off my original Falcon and I put it onto the turbo. So this included all of my coated panel. Now, if you guys remember all the way back then, I actually did a video with Cody about coating my car, and it was a very, very, very cool process to sort of watch and learn exactly what he did. But all up, that entire process cost me $1,600. Now, what Cody did was he took my car for 2 days, completely decontaminated the paint, and then he did a 3-stage correction on it. Went underneath the handles, took out tail lights, headlights. He took out everything on this car and he made the paint absolutely 100% flawless. And then he also applied a 4-layer coating on top. So that's the reason why it cost $1,600. If you guys like your car, you definitely need to go and have a look at getting the paint corrected and protected the proper way. So I'm going to add $1,600 to my total. Okay, so now we're going to start getting into some of the juicy bits. Some of the stuff that I only put on my Turbo Falcon. So starting off, I bought the Walbro 460. Now I actually bought this before I bought the car. The Walbro 460 is an in-tank fuel pump and it just helps me get to my desired power that I wanted to get to. Now, the Walbro 460 I actually bought off a friend, Gene Rhodes, who you guys have seen in videos before, and I spent $300 getting that supplied and fitted by Gene. Now, the biggest mod that I have to say I've done to this car, it was like the most influential thing and made me love the turbo for what it is. The turbo looked worse than the N8 at this point. The turbo sounded worse because it had the stock exhaust on it. I was lucky enough to work with a company called Mackey. Mitch Mackey, who is the guy that I've talked to for a very long time now, he sent me out one of his kits, which was actually a sponsored video, which you guys may have seen me actually installing a turbo side intake. Now, this has to be the single most best mod I've ever done to this car. It is absolutely, I 100% have to do if you have a turbo. Now, I'm going to include the full price of all these parts, but just please know that I was sponsored for a lot of this stuff as well. But the Mackey turbo side intake costs $495. Now, the next thing I bought for my car was actually the Bosch 1000cc injectors. Now, I bought 6 of these injectors off my good mate Harley. He is upgrading to a built motor and I believe 1300cc injectors or 1500s. So I ended up buying the injectors from him for $300. Now, along with this, I also had to get my car retinted. Only the back window though, because as I said earlier on in the video, the tint was screwed up on the back of it and also on the doors as well. But the doors were replaced with the NA, so I had to get the rear window fixed with the turbo. Now, I ended up getting a ceramic tint done, which I know I'm going to do around the rest of the car very, very soon. I just can't afford it as of yet. However, that ceramic tint on the rear window cost me $100. And with the tint, I actually went through one of my good mates' businesses called Empire Tint and Vinyl. If you guys ever need tinting done, check the link in the description down below. It'll be within all of the other links that I have down there. But if you guys want to go get an awesome price on tinting on the north side of Brisbane, yeah, hit him up because he's absolutely awesome. Now, the next thing I did along with the turbo side intake was I actually went ahead and got a quad tip exhaust fitted to my car. Now, this wasn't just any quad tip exhaust. I actually had it fully custom fabbed from Elite Exhaust and Fabrication up in Brendale. Dan did an absolutely amazing job making this whole thing fit. What we did was we actually cut it straight after the diff and we installed two 2.5 inch pipes that came out the back, and then two resonators, and then 4 tips. He also cut out the diffuser and everything else as well. Everything was a super clean job. He painted up the entire exhaust, and also it looks amazing and it sounds amazing. So thank you very much, Dan. That right there cost me $660. Now, the next thing I bought for the car was a Venom high flow cat. So you can get these pretty much brand new for $400 to $500. I actually found mine second hand, brand new, unused, for $400. So it just saved me having to pay for like shipping and everything else as well. I went and picked it up on the weekend and just sort of stored it downstairs ready for the tune, because you can't actually install them until you do the tune. So I bought that for $400. Now, the next part that I got for my car was actually a big one. I ended up getting the Plasma Man intercooler for my car. Now, I ended up going with a Plasma Man 700 horsepower intercooler, and it's stealth black. It looks wicked behind the front bar. Now, this was a big sponsorship. This was a massive sponsorship, actually. And it was actually from my really good friends. There are a couple of really nice mates of mine that all got together for my 21st birthday with Max, and they ended up all giving me a 700 horsepower rated intercooler by Plasma Man to put on my car. They all knew about the turbo project, they all knew about the YouTube channel, and they all wanted to help me out. All of these guys, I want a massive thank you, because they are all such amazing guys. And to be honest, without these people, I would not be doing YouTube. I would not have my Falcon. I would not be in the car scene as I am now. So yeah, I really want to thank all my mates, everyone who pitched in for that intercooler. You guys are all awesome. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to quickly put in the price of the intercooler, which was $880. Now, after the intercooler, I also picked up one of my awesome sponsors, Ants Performance. So Thomas Sabo from Ants has to be one of the most awesome people I've worked with through my whole YouTube experience. Now, the first thing that he sent out to me was the intercooler piping. Now, normally this would cost $289. So I want to give Ants a massive shout out. Thank you very much, Ants. The whole kit fit together absolutely perfectly. Yeah, looks really nice and stealthy in the engine bay too. It went really nicely with my black intercooler at the same time. So as I said, guys, I was sponsored for this. Now, I want to thank Ants for always helping me and always guiding me in the right direction as to how I want to go with my car. But for this kit here, it cost me $289. Now, after this, I kind of stepped back a little bit and I kind of did some stuff for myself at the same time. So there was a couple of things that I really wanted to do with this car. I wanted to make it look really clean. So I actually ended up getting another rocker cover and then also painting it Breeze. Now, all up, because I work at Fixer Rim, the tin of paints only cost $30, so all I had to do was supply the paint and the rocker cover, and we painted it all up at work. So that only cost me $90 to get that done. Now, something I had on the NA, but I didn't install on the turbo for a very long time, was my Angel Eye headlights. You guys will know I've always had the Mars Angel Eye headlights, and I do want to upgrade in the future. Now, the Mars Performance headlights actually cost me $400 at the time. I know they're a little bit more expensive brand new, but I actually had these from a friend up in Gladstone when I had the NA. This was well before I did YouTube. So I've had the Mars Performance headlights for about 2 years now. They've been really good, and yeah, I picked them up for $400. Now, along with this, I actually went out and ordered some Angel Eye fog lights at the same time. Now, I haven't wired them up in the turbo just yet, but I do use them for their projector fog lights. It's actually a really cool feature, but they only cost me $160. It was very cheap. So now, after all of that, after Ant seeing the first video that I did, he loved the videos and he wanted to sponsor me again. So anyway, he ended up sending me the brand new Ants Performance catch can, which has been on my car for around about 2 months now. Now, the catch can sits very nice, very sleek in the engine bay. It looks awesome, fits up with one bolt. It's so simple to do. And that part there will cost $299. Now, this is the controversial one. You guys, all in a live stream, you all gave me the money for this, and I have received so much back and forth comments about this car, and that was thanks to the underglows. I actually did a live stream a couple of months ago where I asked what would be the most stupid thing to do to my car, and if you guys can donate the amount of money, I will buy it. Everyone said underglows, everyone managed to raise the money for underglows, and now it's on my car. So the underglows cost $50. I still don't know why I did it, but you guys all enjoyed it, and it was fun, so I enjoyed it. Now, after this, I also did one of the biggest and my most favorite mods I've done on my car, and that was upgrade from the XYZ coilovers to the MCA purple coilovers. He did me a massive honor in letting me be sponsored by Long Boost Performance, and he actually sent me out the coilovers, which were the MCA purples. Now, these are all fitted up by Gene once again, but today we're only talking about pretty much the supply of the coilovers. Gene helped me out more than I can imagine, so I don't even know how much I've paid him, like, enough. But these coilovers cost $2,400 to get them. Now, after this, before I ended up going with the tune, I ended up changing out my brakes. Now, you guys would have seen that VMAX actually sponsored me for my entire brake setup, so I want to give a massive shout out to VMAX once again. Their link is in the description down below. But he actually sent me out a full set of J-hook rotors, 322mm front and 328mm rear, along with some EVC yellow stuff pads all around. Now, this is a lot of calculating. So, the VMAX J-hook front rotors cost $182. The VMAX J-hook rear rotors cost $193. The EVC yellow stuff pads on the front cost $212. And the EVC yellow stuff pads on the rear cost $212. So I have no idea how much that is all up. I'll put it like right there. But that's how much I spent on brakes. Now, after we did the brakes, we also found out that my sway bar bushes were completely gone, so we ended up redoing them at the same time as well, and they only cost me $50. Now, along with that, Gene also did my UCAs at the same time as well, and he charged me $230 for them. So I'm gonna include that in the price. Now, along with this I also went with Brakes Direct braided lines all around on my brakes, which weren't actually installed in a video. We actually did that a week after, and the braided lines cost me $198 for a set of fully built and tested brake lines from Brakes Direct. So thank you very much. Alright, so now we're getting into the tuning phase of the car. Before we did the tune, we installed a very speed external trans cooler. So you guys will know with the ZF6s, you do definitely need to get an external trans cooler because I'm not exactly quite sure about the process. Milkshaking being oil and coolant mixed together, made to create a thick brown sludge that just goes through your entire car, and it is screwed. If that happens to your car, new box, I believe, you have to completely clean out the engine. It's a nightmare to get fixed. So I thought the $750 that I spent towards this was definitely a good choice. And I'm glad that I did it now, because now I can go and beat up my car out on the track for as long as I want without having to worry about the ZF milkshake issue. Now, here is the big one. Lee from Real Dyno helped me out so much with this one here, and also along with PCM Tech, the tuning software for the Falcons, compared to XCal, compared to HP tuners, all of those guys, they have tuners out there, but they just don't have the support that kind of follows up with that. And that's why I really loved working with PCM Tech. Their brand new 4-stage software with launch control is actually one of the most insane tuning softwares I've actually seen in any car. And it's really cool to be able to work with them and to have them fully sponsor the tune that I did for my car. So I want to give PCM Tech and Real Dyno a massive thank you. That entire week that they worked on my car, being one of the only FGs in the country to have it and allowing me to be, you know, kind of like a driving force to try and put their tune out there, has been really cool. So that tune, plus the dyno time and all the labor that led to my car, cost $1,550. Now, because I did add a couple of different things into my list, I'm gonna quickly go and double check everything that I have typed up and yeah, get back to you guys with a final price. Rightio, so we ended up getting all the numbers crunched together and all up on my Turbo Falcon, including the car, including getting it registered, including getting it from the thing that it was to the thing that it is now, cost me $27,820. $27,820. That's crazy. I find it funny that so many people don't take note of just how much they spend on their car. This car here has actually cost me more than half my annual wage, which is pretty crazy to think about. You know, and also I know I'm going to receive a lot of backlash saying I know a lot of these parts were sponsored and you know, you're not buying your own car like a lot of us were. I completely understand that and I completely see where you guys are looking at the moment, but please keep in mind that at the moment I'm currently renting and I work full time, and my car is the only thing basically that I spend money on. And I know it's probably a really bad financial decision, but apart from, you know, driving to and from work, apart from hanging out with Sarah and Max, and apart from, like, you know, spending money to go out to track days and stuff like that, every single little cent of what I earn goes into my car. I know it's really bad financially, but it's what I love doing, and if it's what you guys love doing, then you guys need to get out there and keep doing it, because, you know, my car brings me so much enjoyment. And I know that my future cars are also going to bring me so much enjoyment at the same time as well. So I know this is probably a really long video, but thank you everyone for sticking around. I really appreciate your time. I hope you all really enjoyed looking back at just how much this car cost me and looking at from where it was to where it is now. I've documented the entire build on YouTube. If you guys want to go check it out, make sure to go check out my recent videos. The list goes on as to how many businesses helped out with this build. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you everyone for watching, even if you just came and watched one video, even if this was your first video, even if you guys just watched the Power Cruise video and then hated all my other videos. I really appreciate it. Doesn't matter how many of you guys watch it. Just seeing how many people came out at all for a day to come and meet me and come see the car and just come see the build in general and just catch up and have a bit of a chat. I really thank every single person for coming out, watching the videos, coming and speaking to me. This is definitely not the end of ZacBaldy, this is just the beginning. Alright, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Peace out.